We're going to start by creating a new project. We're going to leave the default settings here, and we're going to create the project from a template, the command line app template. We're going to give it a meaningful name. I'm going to call it branching example. And then to get started, what we're going to do is, aside from minimizing that one, is create two booleans. So one boolean variable is called player1ready, and we are going to initially put this to false. We're going to create the other boolean variable, call it player2ready, and we're going to put that value to false as well. Now recall that we could create branching in our programs using if statements, and that is what we're going to use in this example here. So I'm going to create an if statement, and in that if statement I'm going to check if neither of the players are ready. If neither of the players are ready. This means that I'm going to check if both of these are false. Now the thing with the if statement is that it evaluates to true. It only executes the code it contains if the condition in here evaluates to true. So how can I check that both of them are false? To that end, I can use the not operator. So I could state not player1 ready and not player2 ready. So what the not operator does is that it flips the boolean value. So this means that the false up here becomes true in this instance, and the same with the player2 ready value. So as it stands here, this should evaluate to true since this one is flipped to true and this one is flipped to true. So let's put in some code in our if statement body. So in here we're going to write system out print, and what we're going to print is neither of the players are ready, because the condition that we put up here is only true if both sides of the AND operator is true, and that's only the case when both player1 and player2 ready are false. So this means that this will only execute in the case that both of these are false. So let's try and execute our little program here and see what happens. And if, as expected, we get a print, neither of the players are ready. Well, that turns out to be a true statement. So let's try and change this to true just to validate that indeed this code down here is only executed in the case that the condition appears true. So let's try and run this code. And as we can see, this does not produce any output. So what if we wanted to produce an output? Well, what we could choose to do is we could put in an else statement down here. And we're going to do that now. So this code is going to execute when the condition up here does not evaluate to true. So this is the case where one of the players are ready or both of the players are ready. So in that case, we can print out system out print one or more players are ready. This is all we know. So that is, of course, the only statement that we can print out truthfully. So let's see if the program works as intended. Now we should produce an output. One or more players are ready. All right. Of course, we can be a little more elaborate on this. What if we wanted to make sure that we only reach this code down here if both players are ready? Well, in that case, we could put in an else if statement up here. And the condition that we're going to put here is if player1 ready, that means if player1 ready is true, XOR player2 ready. So this is the exclusive OR operator. This one will evaluate to true if and only if player1 is ready or player2 is ready, and not if both of them are ready. So here we can say system out print one player is ready, waiting for the other. Of course, this is just for the example because we can't change the state once the program is running currently, but nonetheless, this should reflect to you how the operators work and how we can do branching. And now down here, we will only reach the else statement in cases where both player 1 ready and player 2 ready evaluates to true. So down here, we can change the text to both players are ready. Now let's try and reset this to false and ensure that this will reach our first branch here. Neither of the players are ready, so that seems to work. Then we're going to change this one up here to true and evaluate that hopefully we are reaching the statement in here. So let's see. One player is ready, waiting for the other. And so finally we're going to change this one to true as well, just to see that now this won't evaluate to true anymore, and we should end up in the else statement down here. Let's see what happens. Both players are ready. So, as it turns out, we've successfully branched our program. We've understood how we can create different paths of execution in our program using the if, else if, and else statements.